about the tough calls. I'm sure you relate to that. And also now, especially when A, it appears more players are not playing by the rules around you, and B, you are constantly being questioned because, you know, the old boys clubs are over and done with. This is the age of social media. How does it sort of impact leadership when you have to respond to the persistent questioning and demands of the millions on your feed and the billions on the street?
Yeah, so I'm glad you didn't ask me to comment on the cricket, since I'm a bit out of my depth on that one. And by the way, you did ask actually, and I didn't respond about the UK-India relationship. It's a great relationship for the future today. And although he's not in my politics, there's a guy in Downing Street today that I think has some Indian connection. So that's a demonstration, by the way, I hope, of the open-mindedness of my country as well, which is a good thing to say. So you asked about leadership. Look, the thing about leadership in an era of social media is it's just got a lot more tough. Okay, because the thing about social media is it's frankly a plague on politics, really, because it's the platform for the loudmouth. I mean, in the end, I'm going to offend some people here, but I'm sorry, but the fact is, one of the first lessons of leadership is to understand that those that shout loudest don't deserve to be heard most. Right? Unfortunately, social media, that's where they're shouting loudest. And so leadership's been the same since time immemorial. Leaders step up when others step back. Leaders are prepared to take responsibility and take decisions. And most of all, leaders know that criticism comes with the job. You know, I always say to people, if you don't want criticism, don't become a leader. And, you know, I used to, sometimes I would complain to, you know, when I go in the flat upstairs from Downing Street and the media having a real go at me and things were a bit chaotic, let's say, you know, I'd shut the door of the flat and I'd sit down at the kitchen table and I'd start complaining. And my wife would always say to me, "Stop whinging, it's voluntary." And, you know, she was right. I mean, you know, no one told you to go and become a leader. But if you're going to become a leader, understand that the essence of leadership is taking responsibility and being able to face the criticism. And there's one other thing, by the way, that good leaders do, and here I think cricket is a useful analogy. A good leader picks a good team. There you are.
Absolutely. Dr. Jaishankar, do you consider yourself part of the old boys club?
Well, you know, I recently used the word old, and a few people commented on it. I wasn't obviously using it for myself at that point of time. Old boy, no, old boy club, not really, because in a interesting way, I think that kind of concept really doesn't exist in today's India. Certainly not in the, you know, the kind of environment that I've been in, neither in politics nor actually even in diplomacy anymore. So the answer is no, I wouldn't consider myself to be part of the old boys club. In fact, if anything, I would say you would try to, you know, as part of being global, as part of being more multicultural, you whatever vestiges there may have been, I guess by now would have gone. But that's how I see myself. I mean, I don't know what you do.
No, I've always wanted to ask you this question. How did the transformation from a diligent diplomat to a rock star neta come about? I mean, you're being quoted by the German Chancellor. Meme makers are going through your speeches to look for content. Did you think foreign policy is going to become so popular in India? When they say foreign policy does not win elections, this immense interest.
You know, I think some of it is the times. It's the situation. Again, we're all agreed the world's in a very tough place. Because the world's in a tough place, I think more people are getting interested in the world. They're interested in the problems of the world. They're interested in the solutions of the world. The second is actually the globalization of India itself. You know, ask yourself, we have 1 million students, Indian national students out in the world at any given point. There are 34 million Indians and people of Indian origin abroad in the world, and many of the people of Indian origin in some way remain connected to India. So much, you know, many more Indians are traveling, many more Indians today have businesses outside, our exports are more. Even at home, a lot of people sitting at home do more business outside. So what has happened to my mind in maybe the last decade or so has been a very unconscious but actually a very deep globalization of India. And therefore young people especially, but not only young people, I think take much more interest in the world than they used to. Now when they take interest in the world, you know, I guess they would like to see, you know, like a cricket team, you would like to see, you know, people out there go and perform well. You know, you don't only want to win matches at home, you want to win matches abroad as well.
Indeed, we do.